This speaker has been recorded at a meeting of Addictive Eaters Anonymous. For more information, visit our website www.aeainfo.org.
I'm Catherine, and I'm an addictive eater, and it's lovely to be here in the meeting, and it's nice to be asked to do the long share. I've not done this before, the long share, either at an AA meeting or at an AEA meeting, so there's a bit of self-consciousness feeling that I know to breathe and not listen to those thoughts, and all will be well. So been asked to share my experience, strength and hope. So my experience is I had a huge problem with food and eating, and I had no clue what to do about it. And almost the harder I tried to sort of fix it, the worse it got. And I tried a lot of things to fix it for a long period of time, and just nothing worked. Nothing worked. And it wasn't just that I was trying to fix it and it didn't work, but I would talk to people about it. Like I would talk to my GP about it, or I would talk to friends about it. And they didn't really know what I was talking about. They couldn't really understand. And if I tried to explain it, I wasn't making sense to anyone. So I kind of knew that it was really just me who had this problem, and there wasn't an answer that everybody I spoke to knew about. It wasn't something I could look up and find the answer. There just wasn't an answer. And the more I tried, the more I went into my thinking to try and fix it myself. Actually, that was absolutely the worst thing to do, because the answer isn't with me. I can tell you all about the problems I had with food. For me, it was binge eating, but there were periods where I tried to restrict as well. I could gain lots of weight in a short period of time. I could also lose lots of weight in a short period of time. But it made me feel awful. The torment in my mind of the disordered eating was not a good place to be. And the physical effects of it were not fun either, but the mental side was really hard. And I felt like it affected every part of my life. Just walking down the street affected my work, affected my friendships. I was ashamed, really, of who I was and how I looked, and felt like I wanted to hide quite a lot. I didn't want to accept myself for who I was. I just didn't like who I was. I didn't want to think about it. I was really overweight, and that's really physically very uncomfortable. It was starting to have effect on my physical health. I had really sore joints. It was painful to move around. I would go to the doctor, and the doctor would want to talk to me about my weight, and I wouldn't want to talk about it. I think towards the end, I was starting to show the effects of liver damage from the way I was behaving, and that was really scary, but I knew that I didn't have the answer to fix it. So that was that, really. And then I asked for help a lot of times, and then at one point I went onto a website and found the first meeting, I just knew you all had something, that you had the answer. At that point, I knew I was not alone. For a long time, I felt like I was alone, but I had figured out there were other people that had the same problems with food as I did, but none of them had the answer. Then I came to online meetings and I met all of you, and you had the answer. And I just needed to follow direction. I've never really been in any doubt that I'm in the right place. Coming to meetings, the answer for me, and following direction is the answer, even though sometimes I don't really want to, or it's hard. I know that's something that just needs to be worked through, and through time and sponsorship, it will become clear what the resistance is, and my life will become better. And that's been my experience. I've been coming to meetings for a few years, and my life has got better. Physically, I'm better. I'm normal weight now. I eat normal meals. physically healthy and mentally healthy. That's obviously part of sobriety, and I'm very grateful for that. But I think it's also just a knowing that whatever happens outside these rooms, whatever happens in the outside world, everything's going to be fine. It's all fine. Whatever happens, I have the support of the fellowship. I have many, many people just on the end of the phone. I can phone up any of you and you will be with me in whatever difficulties I have. Often I do need that support and I'm really grateful for it. And my mind doesn't go to food anymore to solve my problems. It just doesn't go there. And that was not the case when I came into this fellowship. I used food to numb whatever I was feeling. Now I just don't, it's not that I don't need to, it just doesn't happen. My brain doesn't go to that as the answer. My brain goes to this sort of the peace and the calmness I get from meetings and from meditation. So thanks very much for asking me to share.